What's up guys, obviously it's Captain Obvious, and welcome to the Armory. In today's episode, I will be reviewing the A-91 carbine. This weapon is unlocked after receiving a total of 58,000 engineer score. To begin with, let's go over the statistics for the A-91. The damage on this weapon is 25 to 14.3 with a drop-off beginning at 8 meters and ending at 50 meters. Shots to kill in core mode are 4 to 7, and in hardcore mode, that drops down to 3 to 5. So normally, like in all of the weapon reviews that I do, I always have to refer to these weapons as having a normal damage for the carbine, assault rifle, LMG class, whatever class they're in. And that is exactly the same in regard to the A-91. 25 hit points of damage out to 8 meters and then drops down to 14.3 out to 50 is the standard for the carbine category. There's nothing special here regarding the A-91, and I really can't tell you guys anything about it, except for the fact that you have a fast time to kill because of the higher rate of fire. But we'll talk about that later when we actually mention the rate of fire in this video. The A-91's rate of fire is 800 rounds per minute, muzzle velocity is 420 meters per second. Maximum range is 630 meters. You can fire this weapon on fully automatic and semi-auto mode, and its suppressive effect is 7.0%. Now, this is where the A-91 actually starts to suffer a lot, and I mean a lot. The A-91 has no bonuses over the rest or any of the carbines in its class, except for arguably its bullpup design, which we'll cover a little bit later. So the muzzle velocity and its range are both the lowest in the carbine class, except for the Scar H, where they're exactly the same. So the A-91 is not made for long-range fire, and that sort of ties into my recommendation later in the video as to why the A-91 is a primarily close-range weapon because of this lower muzzle velocity and because of its lower range. Now, 630 meters is not low, but it still is low compared to the other carbines in the category. Reload time is 2.62 on normal and 3.30 when you're on empty. Cancel time reloads are 2.227 and 2.805 seconds respectively. Threshold is 0.85 and magazine size is 30 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. Now, this is where the A-91 suffers again in comparison to the other carbines in the category. Only the MTAR has a longer normal reload than the A-91. Now, you can say that because the A-91 is a close-range weapon and it needs balance, but look at the M4. It has the same exact rate of fire, but a almost 0.7 second less reload time. So when taking a look at that, the A-91 suffers a lot in its reload time. 3.30 is the longest empty reload in the class, making it even worse when reloading with an empty magazine. The A-91 has a first shot recoil of 3, center speed of 18.0, recoil up is 0.2, and left and right pulls are both 0.5. Aim down sight spread values are exactly the same for most of the other carbines in the category, nothing special there. Hipfire, on the other hand, is better because it's a bullpup weapon, making the A-91 even more efficient at hip firing in closer range than other carbines. This is a very funky recoil pattern with a 0.5 pull left and right. It may seem like it's balanced and you don't really have to worry about a horizontal recoil, but that is not true. With such high values in the left pull and right pull sections, this weapon wobbles a lot. It is very, very uncontrollable when you're trying to keep your shot on target. It will go left and right of your target while not even hitting it. That is the problem with this A-91, is that its recoil patterns are very wobbly, making it suffer in that way. Let's go over my recommended attachments for the A-91. The heavy barrel unlocked at 90 kills will increase your vertical recoil to 0.23, increase drop-off distance to 75 meters, increase muzzle velocity to 560 meters per second. It will decrease your aim down sight spread, but increase hipfire spread, which kind of makes it worse as a bullpup weapon with the hipfire, but it's still manageable. Alright, so the heavy barrel I kind of have to recommend for the A-91 to increase its already very low muzzle velocity. It gets up there when trying to compete with the other weapons such as the M4A1 or the G36C, but there are a lot of weapons who already have default muzzle velocities that are faster than the A-91's with a heavy barrel, making this weapon suffer even at range with the addition of the heavy barrel. The foregrip, unlocked at 30 kills, will decrease horizontal recoil to a 0.4 pull left and right, but it will also increase aim down sight spread, making your accuracy worse out to longer ranges. The foregrip is there for one reason and one reason only: taming that wobbly recoil. With the addition of the foregrip, it brings it down to a 0.4 pull left and right, making it a little bit more controllable. It's not perfect, but it's still a huge increase over that 0.5 left and right recoil. The demonstration right now shows you guys exactly how much of a decrease it gives you, and the wobble is a lot less with the foregrip attached. The laser sight unlocked at 20 kills will decrease your hipfire spread to very nice levels, making it an even better hipfire machine because of that bullpup design of the weapon by default. Great weapon for hipfire. As with all bullpup weapons, the laser sight is almost a definite must for the A-91. With a hipfire spread which can be related to its actual aim down sight accuracy, it is nothing you can pass up. Compare this spread value to the actual aim down sight spread value, and it's a very nice spread. Even, better in some situations than aiming down your sights, allowing for quicker kills and even easier ones in close quarters. Now let's go over my recommended class for the A-91, centered around close quarters potential and making it excel in that way. I like putting the Cobra sight on this weapon, but still, I like the iron sights on this weapon a lot better. I don't know why. The foregrip and the laser sight are the other two attachments for this weapon. Now, let's kind of explain to you exactly what I mean by this. So let's move into some gameplay and analyze this class setup. Alright, so here's some gameplay with this exact class setup being used in action on some Yanya Fortress close quarters gameplay. Now, the reason I chose this map and this gameplay specific is to show you guys exactly what I feel the A-91's role is. Now, before I move into analyzing this class setup, I want to tell you guys a few things about the A-91. This review for me was extremely hard to do. The A-91 has no defined role to it. It has no specialty. A lot of the carbines, such as the acw-r, MTAR, M4, all have roles that they can excel greatly in. The A-91 is just in the middle of the pack, not being good at anything. Actually, it's only good at one way and bad at the others. Now, a lot of you guys may disagree with me because of your personal feelings about the A-91, but statistically, and the way I feel about this, the A-91 has no specific role that makes it excel above any other weapon, except for the one that I sort of made up, just to give this A-91 a little bit more potential and actual, reason to use it. Now, the one role I give the A-91 is the most controllable close quarters weapon. Now, this is a little arguable, either way, but the reason I say that is because with the addition of the foregrip, you don't really have to worry about the horizontal recoil. By default, the vertical recoil is not that bad, and it's a bullpup weapon, making even better hipfire in closer range. So with all these factors going into the A-91, you can decide and sort of come to the conclusion that the A-91 is the most controllable close quarters weapon because of these factors. It's more controllable than the M4A1 with the same exact fire rate, and its hipfire spread is better because of its bullpup design. It's not as good as the MTAR, but the MTAR again is not as controllable as the A-91, making that a little bit less in that way. So, the A-91 is the most controllable close quarters weapon, and it excels greatly at that. As you can tell by the gameplay, I am doing very well while hip-firing with this weapon. The foregrip actually makes it better hip-fire because it keeps that horizontal recoil down, which is very hard to control even while hip-firing. So with the addition of that foregrip and that laser sight, the A-91 is a beast in closer range. Now, if you want to slap a heavy barrel on there, that is completely okay with me. I just like running with the laser sight because of the bullpup design of the weapon. You cannot pass up the advantages that are given to you with the A-91. Close quarters hipfire is something that I will always go for over medium range accuracy. The A-91 can still be used at those ranges because of its controllable nature, keeping your shots on target and making sure you hit all of your shots before the enemy has some time to react. The MTAR, on the other hand, does not have that ease of use because of its already bad recoil patterns. The A-91 excels in controllability and the ability to actually be used at medium range if you need it because of this controllability in vertical and horizontal recoil. Though the aim down sight accuracy is decreased with the addition of the foregrip, it's not that bad because the A-91 is controllable. controllability with some bad accuracy is better than bad accuracy and bad controllability. So, with this addition of good controllability with the addition of the foregrip, you can actually compete at longer ranges. It's not as good as, like the acw-r, but if you need it, and if you need to compete at medium range, the A-91 is there to not be the best in that situation, but it can still hold its own in the situation of medium range. So, it's a versatile weapon in some cases, but the G36C still outweighs it, and the M4A1 at that in their versatility. They can be used at all ranges if you use the right attachments. The A-91, however, is most suited to close range and medium close encounters, and that's where it excels because of this hipfire spread and controllability. So that is it for today's episode of the Armory. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and you learned something new and useful regarding the A-91, and you know how to use it properly now. Exploit the strengths of the A-91 in close range and you will be very powerful if you use it properly. Remember to follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description. Please follow me on there. I give you a lot of updates regarding the Armory, as a matter of fact. It's a great way to get in touch with me. Thumb this video up if you enjoyed it. And as always, rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later.